Get flags.
Hold up, run that back. First of all, what is Tingus Pingus doing trying to full court press here? This whole play is really his fault. But more importantly, what is this dude doing trying to jump with Slim? Isaiah Hodge, better known as Slim, is a 2K player in real life. He's really tall, he can shoot the 3-ball, and he can jump out the gym. His unique player build has prompted me to scout the strengths and weaknesses in his one-on-one game, with the hope of helping out his next opponent. If he pays attention, he could avoid ending up like Brandon Knight over here.
I got use for me. I play defense, you feel me? That's all I do.
Alright, so just looking at Slim's player build, I think most people would assume that he would be a dominant one-on-one player. However, after analyzing 6 of his games, that's simply not the case. In fact, Slim lost all 6 of the games I analyzed, and throughout the 6 losses, one thing in particular stood out. Slim cannot play defense to save his life. You would think a 6'5" athletic freak would be a lockdown defender, but Slim cannot play more unserious D. On the perimeter, he lets opponents shoot wide open shots, even in games with money on the line. Watch here against Chris White. He applies no ball pressure. Look how far he is away from Chris White, and he doesn't even get a hand up. Again, later on in the game, it's 8-2, he's down, and nothing changes. He's just going out sad. And in this one-on-one in China, it's even worse. He lets this dude shoot and make shot after open shot. And then look at the scoreboard. It's 3-22. What the hell, Slim? Do you have no shame? They're playing for money. It got so bad, Moon had to give him a pep talk.
He's got money on the line. We in the 25-3. You ain't never supposed to let that to no nigga. No nigga. Let's get it.
It's unfortunate because Slim has all the tools to be a great defender, but for whatever reason, he just doesn't care enough to try. My theory is that he got dropped once as a kid and just never recovered. But either way, as long as you could hit open jumpers, you're gonna have no problem racking up points against him. To make matters worse, all the open jumpers help his opponent get into a rhythm, which makes them even harder to stop. So until he ups his effort, he has the worst defense of anyone I've scouted. That's including Flight. Offensively, Slim has shown flashes of greatness, especially when he puts his head down and gets downhill. There's simply no way for most players to guard his drives. Bigs are way too slow to stay in front of him, and guards are too small to contest in the paint. His first step is extremely quick, especially when he's driving right, and his speed combined with his wingspan allows him to get to the basket pretty much at will. He also will sometimes go into the short post, and he has shown great touch both on post fades and with his floater. But luckily for his opponents, Slim settles for jumpers far more often than he should, so he rarely even utilizes his biggest strength. If he drove more in his one-on-one games, he would probably have a lot more success. Slim's jumper is a mixed bag. On one hand, he could be a deadly shooter when he's hot. I'd say he's a very streaky shooter. Once he sees a couple threes go in, a lot more typically follow. In his game against the Chinese dude, he managed to get the score somewhat respectable after hitting like 6 threes in a row. And even off the dribble, he has the ability to hit very difficult step-back jumpers, both from mid-range and from 3. But the problem for Slim is that he falls in love with taking these difficult shots when he's really not good enough of a shooter to consistently make them. His shot selection is flat out terrible, especially considering he can score at will in the paint. I think his tendency to settle for jumpers might also have to deal with his conditioning. In his game versus Nas, he had multiple opportunities to put the game away, but he settled for heavily contested jumpers. And lastly, if he doesn't get a straight line drive to the rim, he could really struggle against any type of ball pressure. This is mainly because he has a pretty dubious handle. Like, look at this crossover here against Chris White. Even a 300-pound center is able to rip him off the dribble. If you could force Slim to try to get deep in his bag with his moves, you should be in a great position to win. Overall, I have Slim ranked as a LA Fitness star right behind Diesel. This is a serious case of hard work beats talent. In terms of raw skill and potential, Slim should be at the top of the list. He really has no business losing to guys like Nick Breeze, but the fact that he has no dog forces me to put him near the bottom of my list. And again, if this was a 5-on-5 ranking, he would probably be a little higher. But even Slim said himself that he's not a one-on-one player, so don't get too mad in the comments.
I know 1v1 ain't my style of play, but I'm finna test it out.
Still, let me know what you guys think about his game and comment below who I should scout next.